As the X-Men square off against Apocalypse and his Four Horsemen, there's no shortage of spoilerific secrets in the latest mutant slugfest. If there's anything to learn from Apocalypse taking on Professor X's band of heroes, it's that the 1980s and the ancient evil villain are both pretty much immortal. Put on your neon-colored parachute pants. We've made you an X-Men Apocalypse Easter egg omelet so dense, you'll need adamantium claws to cut through it. And just in case you missed it, here's your final warning. There are major spoilers ahead. Jabs at the last stand. One of X-Men Apocalypse's most meta Easter eggs comes while some young mutants pull a Ferris Bueller and ditch a school day, hitting up the mall instead. Surprisingly, the Dazzler record scene we've seen in pictures prior to the film's release was nowhere to be found in the actual film. Instead, the group takes a few jabs at the more underwhelming parts of the X-Men film franchise. As the four mutant teens leave a showing of Return of the Jedi, they joke about how sequels always end up being much darker than the first film. Even though they're talking about Star Wars, it's also a pretty clear reference to X2 X-Men United. Jean Grey adds that everyone knows that the third movie is almost always the weakest of the bunch, which is almost definitely a zinger aimed at X-Men The Last Stand, the third movie in the franchise that most fans pretend never happened. In case you were wondering, frequent X-Men director Bryan Singer skipped out on filming The Last Stand in favor of Superman Returns. Return of the Blob. In a callback to Wolverine's debut in the original X-Men film and X-Men Origins Wolverine, we're treated to some mutant-filled underground fights. Before we see Angel taking on Nightcrawler, we see a familiar face laid out on the ground from a previous fight. This is Fred Dukes, better known as the Blob. Dukes being flat on his back is probably a callback to his appearance in Origins. This time, he looks even more comic accurate. Good luck to the guys who had to carry him out of the ring. Star Trek Appreciation. Bryan Singer isn't ashamed of being a Trekkie. When we visit Storm's home, her television is playing the original Star Trek series Season 2 episode, Who Mourns for Adonais. This Trek episode foreshadows future events with Apocalypse as it focuses on the team encountering a powerful godlike character who can grow to amazing heights. Sound familiar? Singer also appeared as an uncredited crew member in Star Trek Nemesis, taking orders from the original Professor X himself, Patrick Stewart. Stan Lee's cameo co-star. We've seen Stan Lee cameo as a postman, Hugh Hefner, Larry King, an intergalactic ladies man, and even a strip club DJ.
Give it up for chastity!
In X-Men Apocalypse, Lee's role is much simpler. We see him react to something horrific. The big difference from his previous cameos is who's with him this time around. With Lee during this scene is his real-life wife, Joan. Reloading Weapon X. The last X-Men Apocalypse trailer teased Hugh Jackman's return for the we've lost counteenth time as Wolverine. The film gives Logan his adamantium skeleton from the Weapon X program, rewriting Origin's story even further, along with his trademark trauma-induced berserker rage. Best of all, Jackman actually wears the iconic Weapon X headgear straight from the comics. Don't hold your breath for the character's famous yellow spandex costume though. Another Order of the Phoenix. Speaking of Wolverine, the character's longtime love interest, Jean Grey, is only in her teens during the film, and she's still struggling to control her powers. Jean Grey has nightmares about what's going to happen, teasing the inevitable fight against Apocalypse's forces. She also alludes to seeing flames and a darkness inside of her, foreshadowing her character's eventual possession by the cosmic entity known as the Phoenix. In both X-Men The Last Stand and the original comic books, Jean struggles with controlling the fiery Phoenix before it takes over completely, turning her into one of the series' most powerful villains. Toward the end of X-Men Apocalypse, Jean throws her worries out the window after Xavier tells her to go all out on Apocalypse. Jean turns her powers on full blast, resulting in a flaming bird aura around her, teasing the Phoenix for a future entry of the series. Yes, we got chills from it, and so will you. Hopefully if they revisit the Phoenix saga in future movies, it'll go a little better this time around. That sinister post-credit scene. As usual, the movie's post-credit scene will leave comic junkies jumping for joy, while the average moviegoer will just have to wait until a comic fan explains it to them. The final scene features a man in a suit exploring the ruins of William Stryker's Weapon X compound. As a cleanup crew tries mopping up the mess of bullets and bodies, the man grabs some Weapon X samples and stows them in his briefcase. The briefcase snaps shut, showing a logo of a company named Essex Corp. Comic fans know that Nathaniel Essex, also known as Mr. Sinister, is a longtime villain of the X-Men. He frequently collaborates with Apocalypse, and he's obsessed with Jean Grey and Scott Summers' genetics. He goes as far as creating a clone of Jean Grey, Madeline Pryor, who Scott Summers marries and has a kid with. That kid turns out to be Cable, Deadpool's time-traveling buddy. This could set up Mr. Sinister in a future X-Men film, and maybe even the fan-favorite character of X-23, a young female clone of Wolverine. If 20th Century Fox is looking for a way to make more Wolverine movies after Hugh Jackman hangs up his claws, bringing X-23 into the fold may just do the trick. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more videos like the one you just saw, and leave us a comment to let us know which Easter egg from X-Men Apocalypse was your favorite.